What's going on, everybody? Thank you for being here. Nobody's yet in the chat, but doing a little live stream. So, hope that some people pop in. We can chat it up a little bit. If you're watching later, hope you're doing very well. Definitely going to talk about some future stuff, where the business is evolving to, things of that sort. See if anybody hops in this chat. Maybe some people are busy. It is kind of midday on a Monday. Holidays are over. People could be back to the daily grind, for sure. Give it a few minutes. If anybody is here, hop in the chat and say hello. Well, probably wait another 5 minutes or so. And if nobody really hops on, then I guess I'll just make a video and put it out instead of doing it live. We'll see how it goes. I hope at least a couple of you join. Couple peeps. That'd be nice. Just to say hi. Do a little talk back and forth on the live stream. Pretty wild day in the astrology. That moon's about to square off with Venus in the next 4 hours. So, interesting day regarding relations, money, where we're going, opening up the doors to what we really want and desire, and having us make changes too. Get things in order within ourselves to do those things. What up, Frank? Thanks for joining. The Frank, is that the 5th? Is that what the V's for? Hopefully a couple more people hop in. Definitely have some stuff to talk about. Last initial, for sure. The 5th would be pretty crazy. Like, that's a long line of like people with the same name. So props to family that go that deep into the lineage. My dad was a junior. I was not a third, if you will, or a second, I don't know. Man. Oh, you are the third, though? For sure. Very nice. It's pretty cool. I dig when families do that. I thought about doing it with my son. I have a 3-year-old, but I don't know. wife at the time didn't seem too interested in that. And then I came up with the name Sterling, and I kind of fell in love with that name. And then she did too. So Sterling it was. Well, Frank, I guess maybe it's just us. I mean, it is midday on a Monday. I guess can't expect too many people up in here. But if anybody else is in here, say what up. So I know you're around. This is definitely like going through kind of just where I'm progressing my content, and what I want to bring to people. So definitely for people that, watch daily or weekly, definitely like pertains to those individuals. I'm going to be cutting down a little bit of the content on the channel, on YouTube, and doing more subscription-based content from my website, but for like a really cheap price, like probably like $4 or $5 a month. And it's going to be a lot more content, not only the dailies and weeklies, but like a weekly tarot spread, and just like a weekly, like full-on update for all signs, maybe some monthly content, just a lot I want to put on there. But it's hard to put all the daily stuff out here. It's getting taxing, and it was always part of the business model, if you will, as an astrologer, to sell the horoscopes, to make a living doing this. So that's kind of like where it's progressing, and I just kind of wanted to bring that up. What's up, Katharina? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you very much. Yeah. So how are you guys doing today? My two friends in the chat. Doing well? It's very rainy where I'm at in Northern California. Very gloomy outside. Today kind of has that energy for some reason. Maybe just where I'm at. But I woke up like knowing I needed to do something. And it was regarding the channel, regarding my astrology business, and I wanted to pull a card and just like ask, like, where, is it time to do something different, and switch things up? And the King of Cups just like shot out at me. Or, I'm sorry, the King of Coins. So it was just like, okay, I guess I need to take charge of the reality I want to create. So I guess I was like, all right, I'm going to start looking into it, do a little live, talk to people, see what's up. Oh, I'm glad you liked the Leo video last night. I'm happy that resonated with you. I think it's a big week. There's just so many ingresses taking place, and it's just going to be a big energy shift. Like we kind of, we come into the new year on the 1st of the year, right? But it's like the 6th of the year in 2021 is like when we're going to feel just heavy change take place. Our three personal planets, right? Like Mercury, Venus, and Mars ingressing right at like the same time. It's just this like boom, 0 degrees energy that's hitting. So it's going to be felt pretty heavily. And then Uranus comes online on the 14th of January, and Mercury's going to retrograde on the 30th of January. So like there is just a lot going on this month with Saturn squaring Uranus. Jupiter's like right there, about to make the exact square to Uranus. I mean, and Uranus going online. It's like there's this electrical plug that's just like two extension cords, and they're just coming together. It's going to be electric, one way or the other. So I think that's why the message has been coming through so strong, that like you got to have your values and your independence and like know where you want to go right now. Because when that like plug gets like, who knows what's going to illuminate and what's going to light up. And we kind of just have to be like in our own strength and in our own inner sovereignty, so that we don't get swept away in some crazy current of electricity, and kind of have that foundation within us. But yeah, so I don't know, definitely curious. I want to see what people thought, or if they'd be willing to hop over to the website. I don't know if you've ever been there before, but it is fixedairmoon.com. I do put all my content from Twitter, gets posted up there, as well as my videos. But I'm definitely, I want to do something, special for members, and, be able to get that, energy to come in. It is that kind of energy exchange to put out more content, better content, to evolve the content, and it takes resources to do that. If I want to, get more cameras, get another set, I am looking at moving soon, so I'm going to have a whole different vibe going on with the scene, and just I gotta grow and evolve the company. And apparently, I needed to do that sooner than later. I didn't put a time limit on it, I'll be honest, but it just keeps getting pushed. And it's like, right, that's the message that I've been putting out for weeks now, is like, if you want to go after your goals, you got to go after your goals. So, I mean, I guess, I'm no exception to the rule. And I just wanted to be vulnerable and bring it to you guys live and chat it up a little bit. Yeah, it excites me too, Frank. It really does. I gotta be honest. Like, I am very excited for this year. I think that it has so much electricity to it, and I think that it's gonna show us a lot, one way or the other. And it's like 2020, showed us what we were made of inside of ourselves, and like how to connect more. And it kind of just put everybody on this equal playing field. And 2021's like, what future are you going to go into? You're going to go into the exciting one that you're going to create, or one that's going to be kind of like, pushed on you, told you have to do it. And, we're all on different, paths. So it's like, there's no right or wrong way. It's just, I just want to make sure that you guys are, and myself included, that, we're going on the path that we want to go on. And, we're all at different areas in life and just growth as souls here. So how can we make the most of this life, right? How can we, use it? Like, it is this lucid dream we're in. So we got to use the, that's like the magician, right? I've been reading a lot of Aleister Crowley. I have a couple of his books behind me. And I know that he, some people are kind of afraid of him, and he wasn't like the nicest guy by any means. But when it came down to like true occult magic, I mean, pretty spectacular views on it, and how to, navigate universal energies. So that's been pretty enlightening. I know he's a controversial character in himself, but a lot of his writings were just, I mean, for one, beautifully written. He was such a poet. So it's interesting to go through that. Absolutely. Oh, I appreciate that, Frank. Yeah, I want to put out, I want to just deliver like more high quality content. And it's not that I don't, not want to put the content out. I enjoy putting this out for everybody. It's just, in a sense, right? Like, I can't put this content out from like the street. And, it was really my goal at the beginning of last year to push my astrology and to make it, what I'm doing, to make it the career, to make it, my ultimate goal, and to help people through it, and to kind of use that astrology as my modality for healing and helping others. And, I'm still going to have stuff on the YouTube. So it's not like I'm just ditching my YouTube channel. Like, I still want it to grow, and I still want to put stuff out there for people. It's just going to be more like a once a week thing, maybe twice a week, maybe hop on and do lives every now and then, to chat and hang out. But, the nitty gritty, truth stuff that I want to put out, I just want to, put that out to, the people that really support and, kind of give that, energy exchange with me. And, again, don't want it to be like outrageous. It's going to be very affordable. I mean, $5, even at $5 a month, like the per day on that, I should pull up the calculator and see what that would be for like 31 days. If I, knew how to work a calendar or a calculator properly. Yeah, it's pretty pretty cheap. Pennies, you know. Who else is up in here? What's up, Mark? Appreciate you joining. How are you guys doing today? You guys feeling like inspired to go do anything? Like, I mean, I'm kind of like, I need to go. I need to build this. I need to make it happen. Like, I'm just going to hop on YouTube, and I don't really have anything planned to talk about except, you know, just talking and hanging out with you guys and, you know, expressing what I'm trying to do with the content. But what are you guys doing anything cool? Are you guys like building anything and stepping into, you know, that future you want to create for yourself that would be inspiring? Or even just inspiring to yourself that makes you feel like empowered here in these times, because I think that, you know, that's a big deal. So much Aquarius is coming. I mean, we're gonna see in February. We haven't seen this much Aquarius since 1962. I mean, there's gonna be like 7 planets there. There's gonna be Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, the Sun, Venus, and some asteroids even. Like, we're talking like crazy amounts of Aquarius energy, and Aquarius energy is weird. Like, it's out there, it's different, and I love it. Like, my moon's in Aquarius, my Venus is in Aquarius, like my north node. Like, I'm a big fan of Aquarius energy and just taking things a different route, because that's where true innovation happens. And that's where the collective and humanity really like steps into new areas and connects. But so it's just going to be interesting, and all with squares to Uranus, right? And in modern astrology, Uranus rules Aquarius, so it's the dispositor of Aquarius, and it's in its worst position in what you would call the fall position in Taurus. So it's just like, there is some major electricity coming. And then even with Jupiter and Saturn, the last time they squared, they had their conjunction in 2000, they were in Taurus and they were squaring Uranus in Aquarius. So there's this flip-flop of like, it's just going to be a wild physical world, because Taurus is the most fixed earth. And it is like the stability of our values and what's worth this, what's worth that. And like, this is just taking it in a whole different direction, in a big way, with people, with Saturn, with society, and with Jupiter, you know, beliefs of like what can be created. So it's exciting times. These first couple months though, there's a lot going on. And then Jupiter is going to come into Pisces pretty quick, like in May, I think. So, I mean, Jupiter is going to rip through Aquarius quick, with the quickness. Jupiter is like the Leo King. I was listening to one of his things, and he was like, Jupiter's like Bowser in Mario Kart. Have you guys ever played Mario Kart? Like, Bowser kind of starts off slow, but, you know, once he gets some momentum going, like, he's moving. So Jupiter's going to really start pushing here, and then come into Pisces. And I think that's going to be a pretty beautiful time, and like really showing us where the universe wants to take us and where the true gifts are. But it's like, we just kind of got to get through some crazy energy, some crazy electricity that we're, you know, frequency that we're going through. And and then Jupiter's going to retrograde back into Aquarius to finish the year. So we just get like a taste of kind of this like kind of dreamy, like, where's the abundance? The abundance is in the connection. So that's kind of where the year finishes off. Let's see what else we got in the chat. Your content is awesome and helpful. I appreciate you so much, Katharina. Thank you. Aquarius. Yeah. I love Aquarius. Aquariuses are just different, right? They're just like unique, and they just want to do things their own way, and they're a little edgy, and it's like that's almost the worst thing that can happen to an Aquarius is like they almost always have this need to rebel and kind of do things in their own way. And sometimes that rebellious nature will have them rebel from actually doing what they want to do and being true to themselves. And that's when you get Aquariuses that just kind of like outcast themselves. And that's kind of like where Uranus gets the rulership of Aquarius, because Uranus is the father of Saturn, who's the father of Jupiter. So we do have this like family aspect with all the squares to Uranus. Like, it's kind of like like family, like the family in the heavens are gathering for like a meeting, like a meeting, and it's like, nah, who knows what's gonna happen. Aquarius is very unpredictable in that sense, but so that's where Aquarius can get, that sort of an outcasted vibe and kind of, disconnect from society completely or disconnect from other people. But it's when they're just, truly embrace their identity and their uniqueness and their individuated self that they connect to people that are on that similar vibe, because the universe is always going to bring us people that are on that vibration, no matter what. So, big fan of Aquarius. Frank's doing the music. That's awesome. I'm such a big fan of music. I am such I don't want to say a terrible musician. I have a drum that I keep right here, and I do break it out, and I make some noise with it. Sometimes it's pretty good noise. But yeah, music was never like something I could just create. I wasn't I don't know. Which is funny too, because my sun's conjunct Neptune and Uranus. Like, you would think that like going into artistic, creative things such as music would just like, I would just channel that one. But I guess my channeling's more of the planets, more of the art of astrology, or even spirituality. Senor Gigio! Ain't no party like a Scorpio party. We got the major Scorpio in the house, Senor Gigio. That's my homie. He makes great music. I recommend definitely checking out Senor Gigio's, his Instagram, his YouTube. He's putting out like high vibe, conscious hip hop music all the time, and he does great art. Like, talk about like someone who's artistic. Like, this guy puts out the coolest art. This is actually one of his buttons. I don't know if you'll be able to see it too well, but he drew that, and it's E.T., and it says, "I lightweight fuck with planet Earth, bruh." Anyways, shout out to Senor Gigio. That's my homie. My homie from the Bay Area that I happen to have the pleasure of knowing in person, and he's a great person, a great light on this planet. And if you're into hip hop music and you don't like maybe just like the mumble rap or sort of the vulgarity of some of the rap that you hear on the radio, well, Senor Gigio's hooking up with a bunch of other very conscious people that are putting out universal truth with the art of lyrics, and it's really beautiful and uplifting. So check out my boy if you get the chance. A wonderful. Oh, I have Venus in Aquarius too, conjunct Neptune and Uranus. Woo! Celestially blunt. That is celestially blunt right there, for sure. Yep, stepping away into the truth. Yeah, of course, bro. I love you, homie. Like, you were such a gift that came into my life last year, like it was wild. Like, the beginning of 2020 kicked off, and I was going through huge changes in my personal life, and just, kind of just dropping into whole new worlds within my world. And Senor Gigio popped up and was just like, out of nowhere. I met him one night, and it ended up being, that was like one of the funnest nights of 2020 I had. And it was right before all the lockdowns went out, and he was doing a show with our other homie Galactic Vibes. So shout out to Galactic Vibes. He probably won't be on here, but another like great YouTube, another great person to follow on social media. He's on Spotify. Same with Senor Gigio. They're just putting out like really uplifting, conscious music, and doing it in their own unique way, which is so dope. And yeah, dude, super cool. I'm glad you're here, my man. Also, Senor Gigio does tarot, and he's very good. Like, that Scorpio be channeling the tarot cards like a G. Senor G-O. So, another good person if you're interested in tarot readings. I'm sure he has links up somewhere. If you're interested in something like that, check him out. He just did a reading recently for my buddy Mike, my buddy Stokes, and I was kicking it with him, and he was like, "Oh my God, like, I got a reading from Senor Gigio, and it blew my mind how accurate it was, and I was like, yeah, that's that Scorpio. So I wish music was my gift too, but you know what? My gift is like supporting people who put out the good music, because I love it so much. And that was that night I met Gigio. There was just so much good music, danced all night. And I've been sober from alcohol or marijuana for over a year now. So I really don't like partake in any substances anymore in my life personally. But like, man, when I go out to a good show, which is too bad that we don't get to really do that as much these days, and I can just go dance and like express myself that way, like talk about like the ultimate high. Like that is when I'm just feeling like on another level. And that was one of those nights for sure. So yeah, mainly doing this today just to chat, say what up with you guys. But yeah, content's gonna slow down on this page. I'm still gonna put out weekly stuff. Maybe not. I'm gonna keep the 12 signs for all 12 signs and the personal horoscopes. I'm gonna move those to paid membership area. Same with the dailies. But I will put out content for big transits, for big weeks, and just weeks in general. As long and also maybe a little tarot card pull. I do want to keep the channel going and keep putting that out to anybody who's not interested in joining the site that still wants some free content on YouTube. I have no issue with putting out the free content. I enjoy it. Like I really do. It's been such a pleasure over the last almost 9 months on January 14th when Uranus goes direct, which is interesting. 9 months, because I happen to have Uranus in the 9th house of my chart. Just interesting how that worked out. But yeah, I gotta grow the business to keep things afloat and to keep putting out quality content and to keep growing the channel, to get better video, to get better audio, and just have overall a better experience to get the message out, because that's overall like the goal for sure. But yeah, do you guys have anything you want to talk about in particular while I'm here? I don't think I'm gonna get too many more people on kind of midday on a Monday. I think people are like actually back to the grind. Holidays are over. It's kind of that first Monday after the holidays, so people might be kind of busy doing their thing today, which is good. I hope people are being able to stay busy and get those things going for themselves, and not wasting all that, which is wasting time online, I guess you could say. So shout out to them. And then also the people that are here, I'm so glad that you're here spending your time with me, like 100%. I'm happy for that. Yo, Gigio, if you're still here, I pulled to do this, like I pulled this king of coins. I was like, man, I keep getting this hint, this inner feeling that I need to just like pull the trigger and move stuff to my site and like make that happen for my business and for myself. And I was hesitant because I don't know how many people are going to join, and I don't know, it's just kind of like that evolution I was kind of scared and nervous too. Just like when I first started doing these videos every day, I was super nervous and scared to be in front of a camera. And I pulled that king of coins. So it was like, and it jumped out too. And I don't usually shuffle like this. I mean, I do, but usually kind of slow like that. I'm not usually looking for a card to jump out, but that card just jumped out at me this morning from the very first tarot deck I ever bought, that Golden Tarot. So I love this deck a lot. I have a bunch, but this one's special to me, and it threw out that king of coins, which, talk about like Capricorn energy. And I'm a Capricorn sun. And I got my sun conjunct Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and the midheaven in my 10th house. So this card was just like, okay, 10th house sun. Okay, sun, Saturn. Okay, sun, Neptune. Like, are you going to create a beautiful, career and a beautiful like life that you can sustain yourself with and sustain your sun? You better go manifest that. And you better not doubt yourself. So, that card came out. I was like, well, I guess I'm doing a live today. The average watch time for this video right now is 4:44, so shout out 444. Let's see. Make monthly predictions. Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, absolutely. I want to do more predictions. It's I'm having a hard time with predictions for these first couple months of Aquarius, because with so much Uranian energy with Aquarius, with Uranus getting squared, like Uranus is so unpredictable. And it's like that is the greatest prediction I can give, is that these next 3 months, 4 months even, are like if you thought it's probably not going to happen. So you kind of just have to have that sovereignty, have that power and that strength for yourself, because I just think we're going to see things that we've never seen before. And last year we saw things we'd never seen before with, COVID and the way that was. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, there was something about it that I think just so many people knew that there was just something else going on, that it was just kind of easy to get through and navigate, where this year it's like things are going to be just shaken and mixed up. But then it's going to show us like this future. It's going to show us this hope for the collective. It's just going to be in a different direction than I think so many people have thought of, and maybe somebody has thought of it, But I do want to do more predictions, and that's definitely something I'm gonna start doing more of. Got that other Scorpio in the house. I know, right? When the card just jumps out, like, and it was a great card, so I was like, okay, like, there's some confidence, I like that. 9 months, time to birth your site and let it grow. Yeah, the site's up. I do put all my content up there currently, but yeah, I want to let it grow. And if I'm going to be a full-time astrologer, yes, I get consultations and you can book. I'm actually running a sale this week that ends on the 10th, that I should have mentioned in my daily and weekly videos. But I'm running a sale on my website for consultations if you're interested in having your chart read. I'm doing 33% off with the coupon code New Year, so I'll put that in the chat. So if you guys are interested in that, that's gonna go until the 10th, till next Sunday. 33% off. So that's a nice little chunk, nice little master number that I went with. And 3 is such a number of abundance, and we have Jupiter at 3 degrees this week in Aquarius. I always have my clock here. It's no batteries are in it. It's just set to 333. And that was when astrology actually came into my life, was at 3:33 in the morning. So it's a very special number to me. So I wanted to extend that out to anybody. I put it on Twitter. But yeah, so between like consultations and paid content, where I do want to put out more predictions and more in yearly stuff, and I want to take it to the next level. But I feel like for me to have the energy to do that, and the drive to kind of grow it more, I want to, I think that putting it on the site will just give me that added motivation. And I think, one of the other things is I've always been very consistent. I started this channel on April 14th of 2020, and I think I missed 3 days altogether since that time of like not putting out a daily or missing a day. So I would say that you can count on, if you do join, that I'm always going to have the content up, and if I don't, it's something happened. Like there was a reason that I couldn't get it up there, and I'll make it up as well. What about educating? Yeah, definitely. I do want to start doing some teaching. I'm in this 8th house perfection year, and Scorpio rules my 8th house, and I have Mars in my 9th house in whole sign in Sagittarius. So I think that this year's definitely like one of those years where I'm going to put out some training content. And that's something that I would like to put out for members too. Just like content on going over the energy of the planets and how to read your birth chart, how to look at progressions and solar arcs, and even perfection years, some of the Hellenistic stuff, even down to like some zodiacal releasing, because I think all that stuff is just so not only amazing for predicting things within your own chart, but just such a powerful tool of astrology that almost like it really makes you question how free our free will is. So, which we do have free will. I had the free will to start this live today, but was that not already predestined in the program? You know, we all have all these choices, but there's just quantum, streams of our choices, and to think that we don't have them all already predetermined for every choice we're going to make is a little linear, and we're not so much in that linear time anymore. Yeah, Uranian trauma. It's cool. I think Uranus accelerates us. Like, that's one thing about Uranus, is it's kind of like, he's the god of the heavens. Like he accelerates us to higher timelines, to the ultimate connection, to our long-term memory, and not long-term memory of this life, but long-term memory like Akashic records, Akashic memory of like what, all the truth, So I think that this is definitely a year where, a lot of truth comes out. And it might not be truth that people want to hear. And I think that's where beliefs can get shattered. And this can go any different way. Like, I'm not trying to say one belief is more likely to get shattered than the other. I'm at the point where, like, I might have my own personal beliefs, but like I can pivot. Like if whatever I was believing or thought to be true maybe wasn't true, and some new information comes out, because we have that North Node in Gemini, and we're in a 5-year, and it's also going to be year of the ox. So, it is slow and steady, wins the race, but it's also smart. So, we have to be able to take all the information that's coming in. We have to objectify and, be able to pivot. Gemini is mutable air. Like, if new information comes in, you just got to be able to not hold on to the old stuff. And there is that Aquarian energy that, can want to hold on to the idea of what's best. But it's a year for sure. Love when I explain it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go over. I'd love to put out, content for the members that just would help people read their chart better, whether it's reading my chart, showing you some things to look at, or even just having like an open blog for members, to where they can just ask questions, whether it's personal questions about their own astrology or anything like that. And I can just, help give some insight into that question, for members and things like that, cause I want to give you guys good content. I want to, make sure that if it's $5 a month, like it's $5 well spent, and you're getting, what you deserve and beyond, and, make it accessible. Definitely not trying to get rich by any means. I just want to get by. That's all. That energy exchange is so important. And I think that's something that we all need to understand, is the energy that we put out, there should be an equal exchange that comes back. We can only give so much, before we run our own cups dry. So it's, the give and take, right, is so important. Anybody have any questions, or anything, do you want to look at some astrology? I got some charts, I could, I got the Astro Gold here. I won't be able to see the chat unless I pull it up on my phone, or I can run it through the iPad. So I have some charts up, and can definitely like look at some things. That's the chart of. We'll do the chart of right now. So yeah, that moon's getting ready to square off in the next hour with Venus. So that's intense right now, and definitely having us, like that moon in Virgo wants us to tidy up and like put everything in order, and I think analyze the emotions. And with that square to Venus, like it's looking at our values, it's looking at money, It's looking at how we want to expand those things in life. And it's looking at the relationships, and are they, taking you into something that feels like abundance, and does it have that benefic feel to it. And that's where it's like, man, it can be a little hard, right? And coming off that moon opposite Neptune and squaring the nodes, there was that grand mutable cross. So today just has that, are you going to go into the future that you're being guided towards, or are you going to make that an illusion? And I think that's something I struggled with from the moment I woke up, was am I delusional for wanting to, move my content to my site right now? Am I delusional? Am I going crazy? Because Neptune square the nodes honestly can make you feel crazy. It can make you feel like we're in another dimension. We're literally time traveling right now. And I think, at least for me, looking back at 2020, it just, where'd it go? So much happened and so much was compressed into that year. It's crazy when I look back at all that did go down, because it was a lot, especially in my own personal life. But it felt like it just, I can look back to, my birthday was New Year's Eve. I could look back to my birthday last year, and it felt like yesterday. It was crazy. And one of my friends hit me up and he was like, happy birthday. I was like, dude, do you remember when we were in Reno last year and we were partying at the Grand Sierra Resort? And it was it felt like it was just yesterday. And he was like, that's crazy to think about, because at the same time, it felt like yesterday, but at the same time, it felt like a completely different timeline, like a completely different world. It's a trip. Should I also be checking my moon and rising? Yeah, definitely the rising. I think that the sun and rising, you'll feel the most, or at least you'll see manifest the most in your life. I do like to look at the moon sign myself, and even your chart ruler. So for instance, if if you were a Leo, the sun would be your chart ruler. So maybe for a Leo, your sun sign horoscope would actually be more, prominent for you. And, you can definitely look at it for all sorts of aspects. That's how complex we are. Yes, we can look, the natal chart is so important. It's the base of, our blueprint here, right? But, also when you put your sun in your first house of your identity and of how you're illuminating and integrating, and you see how the planets are aspecting from that point of view, I absolutely think that plays a part. And, astrology right now is moving away from sun sign horoscopes and just going for rising. I think that they're both big parts, because I think that we're very complex. We're so complex. You can't just look at one thing or one house system or one horoscope, because we're so much more than that. And you'll notice, you might have a lot going on in your family life, and maybe there's a big fourth house transit, or maybe you're going through a lot of emotions, but there's other aspects in your life that are taking place too. And maybe it has to do with something that's going on in the 10th house in the opposite, So it's this opposition of your outer world and your inner world. And there's just a lot to us. So yeah, I would say look at all the horoscopes. Sun, moon, rising. The moon might resonate deeper just internally, how you really emotionally feel. It's worth checking out. And if it resonates, that, you're feeling that energy, and it's something that, that you're connected to. It is your moon sign. And if not, then, if the rising sign resonates more than the sun sign, everybody's different, right? That's the complexity of humans. Everyone's different. Look for what resonates most in your life at any time. And maybe checking all three would just show you that one happens to be resonating more at any current time. Because, all this is happening. It's all happening. It all plays a part in our life. And then, so the horoscopes that I put out for the weekly sun signs, and rising signs, like that's just a very broad general, aspect of where planets would be in terms of your house system, using like a whole sign house system. And a lot of people use Placidus. I use Porphyry for readings because I practice mainly evolutionary astrology. And so everybody uses like different house systems, and there's just different things going on. But then you got to take into consideration, right? Like you might have a lot of planets in your fourth house, and maybe the sun's in the fourth house of your natal chart, on your rising. So then those energies are getting aspected. So everybody's just feeling things. Just everybody has a different uniqueness to them, and feels things differently. And those are just very, very broad. Of ideas and aspects in life that you may be feeling. Of course, if you want to get really down to the nitty gritty of your own personal chart, and how planets, the transits are affecting, and how the solar arcs and the progressions are affecting, that's when you want to look into a reading, or, I'm even going to put classes up too, so that people can look into that for themselves, as well. How's Mars joining hands with Uranus in Taurus going to be for Scorpios? Well, it's your opposite sign. So it's definitely a lot of relationship stuff. I think that it could be having you try to take action. I mean, Uranus already in the seventh house is just like shaking things up and bringing some sort of electricity and acceleration when it comes to dealing with other people in your life. But Mars is like not... It's hard because Mars is like our personal action. It's our personal drive. It's our personal desires. Mars isn't like the planet that deals well with other people. Like you look at Mars as the ruler of Aries. The opposition of Aries is Libra, which is other people. It's finding the balance and harmony. So Mars in the seventh is definitely like this tug of war of, your own desires versus other people's desires, and how to take action on that without weighing too many things out. So, I would say that Mars in Taurus for a Scorpio with Uranus and squaring Saturn is just definitely a shakeup. And Saturn and Jupiter in your fourth house there. So, or actually your 10th house? Yeah, your fourth house. Sorry. No, 10th house of Aquarius. I got super lost there for a second. So yeah, I think that it's like the future, right? It's like going towards your goals and dealing with other people in your life, and if you're weighing out too many things that other people want versus your own, destiny that Jupiter and Saturn are trying to bring to you, because, they could have conjuncted at 0 degrees in whole sign. That's in your 10th house. Like these next 20 years are like strongly about going towards the future you want to create, especially for a Taurus sun or Taurus rising. And relationships are important. That's why it's an angular house, right? It's like our identity's the first house, very powerful. The fourth house is our emotions, our inner world, the foundation within us, that strength to be able to have the foundation to build off of within our own being. The seventh house is other people. Other people are that's what we're here. We're here to experience other people. It's a huge point, the seventh house. And the 10th house is like, how are you going to reach the top? How can you achieve all your goals and live the best life that you want to live, and to have that recognition for the life you lived through your identity, through your emotional sovereignty, and through the people you connect with. Oh, you always watch the sun, moon, and rising? Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Does anyone, Katharina, does anyone resonate with you more than another, or do you find them all to play a part in your world? Oh, you guys are so welcome. I'm happy you're here with me. I'm happy to just have some people to chat with and, share the energy with. It's definitely nice. I'm so used to just recording and posting. I've only done one other live, so maybe that's something I do on this channel more is set up a show that's live to where we can all interact, and I'll have, some stuff to talk about in the world mixed with the astrology, and maybe that'll be a new weekly show that I do at like a certain time, and maybe on the weekends when more people can join also. I do have my son I have him 50% of the time, so every other week. So those weeks that I have him, it's kind of difficult with a 3-year-old. He's very like, dada, needs a lot of attention. He's a Sagittarius, first house sun, Scorpio rising, with a Mars in the 12th. And his Mars in Libra in the 12th house is squaring the midpoint of my Saturn and Mercury. And it is every bit that with him. He knows how to push my buttons. And he has some crazy mood swings out of nowhere. But such as 3. But he's fun too, little Sag. Like he's and first house sun. I mean, the kid's a ball of energy. And it's funny, too, with him because our nodes are completely switched. I'm 16-degree North Node Aquarius, 16-degree South Node Leo. And he's a 16-degree North Node Leo, 16-degree South Node Aquarius. So it's funny how things work sometimes. Oh, thank you so much, Daphne from Cincinnati. Gemini rising, first house. Much love to you, Daphne. Thank you for being here. I think it all seems to play a part sometimes. Yeah, sometimes one more than the other. I think, too, depending on where all your other planets are in your chart and what's getting aspected. Like, if your moon's getting heavily aspected by Saturn, I mean, maybe you should watch your moon horoscope, right? see what else is going on emotionally that you might be dealing with. But also, when planets in your natal chart, in that, when they get hit by other planets, wherever the ruling sign, wherever that planet rules in your chart. So like, for instance, for me, if the moon gets hit, the moon rules my 4th house of Cancer as an Aries rising. So like when the moon gets hit by Saturn or Mars, like I'm feeling it internally, emotionally, within myself deeply. And I have to go through that, alone, or it'll bring up family drama, so when planets get hit, look at, the house that planet rules, and that can show you places that might be manifesting through that planet and through whatever the aspect may be in your life. Yeah, all 3-year-olds. What up, JP? Thanks for being here. All 3-year-olds do know how to push buttons. They're very good at it. Cancer moon, 24 degrees. Our moons are in quincunx. I have an Aquarius moon, of course, at 24 degrees. So I'm glad that we were drawn together through this channel, and I didn't just repulse you and you want to leave. No, quincunxes are they're a pretty powerful aspect, actually. I think they're misunderstood. I think they're very much like fated. Like when you get any sort of quincunx, it's like you need to kind of embrace the energy on the opposite side of that, because it's important. It's like trying to show you something big with things that might not originally click, but it's like, can you work through that and see the gift that God put there? That's why 2 quincunxes and a sextile make up a yod, or a finger of God, because it's like these 2 energies are really trying to show you this really unique spot, and you're kind of just always being guided and pulled to that by a higher source. A 7-year-old Sag with North Node in the 1st. Yeah, Sages they're wild. What's up, Travis? Thanks for being here. Sages are just like, God, they're so Jupiter. They're just like this huge ball of energy. And they're just, so much personality. He's my only kid, so I can't say like, oh yeah, but my other kid's a Scorpio, and so yeah. And he is a Scorpio rising for sure. And then Mars rules that planet, and Pluto also, and they're that sign. So yeah, his Mars in the 12th is an interesting one that he's going to have to overcome. He needs to learn how to take charge for himself and not weigh things out and not get lost, not let unseen things take him out of his own power. South Node Leo, North Node Aquarius. I love having Sagittarius daughter. Oh, nice. We have the same nodes. Mine's my north node's in the 11th house, Katharina, and my south node is in the 5th house. I have an interesting aspect too. I have Pluto square my nodes. Maybe I can just show you here on my chart. So I have Pluto at 17.4, and then my nodes at 16.51. So they are, we're talking, what is that, 9, 10? It's like 14-degree different, 14-minute difference. So Pluto square the nodes in evolutionary astrology implies like a skip step from the soul. So it's interesting, like learning that stuff, right? And then just, channeling the horoscopes the way I do. It's like I have to go back to my south node. My south node is just as important. I haven't mastered my south node or my north node yet with the Pluto square the nodes. So I had to go and really embrace my creativity, embrace myself, and learn to shine and learn to express myself and express my courage and to be powerful and drive, forward with my identity and who I am. And I think that's a big part of like going to my north node and bringing that to the people. And I think in past lives, I've definitely exercised power over people. But this life is just not so much about that. This life's very much about showing people how to empower themselves by being just one of the people and showing them, through astrology that they can really use that energy to take control over their own life in the most constructive way possible and to move forward and to show people that we can all win in this world. Like nobody's meant to win more than another. And, just embracing your own sovereignty and your own power can help do that. It's a lesson in my life for sure. And it's interesting how that plays out and in my chart that I bring to you guys. That's in wholesome or equal. I usually run my chart for myself in Porphyry. So switches things up a little bit. Rising sign definitely resonates more. Yeah, I'm an Aries rising, and it took me a while to like understand my Aries rising in a sense. Like it was almost something I had to figure out. I have Saturn square my ascendant in Aries, so it was almost like there's always some restriction of like embracing who I really am, and that was something that the Saturn return over the last 3 years that I had really woke me up to. Was like who I am and embracing my own inner power, my own inner strength. And now I resonate a lot with my Aries rising as well as my Capricorn sun and definitely my moon. That Aquarius energy that I have is it probably shows. Like I'm always like, don't do what you're told. Do what you feels right. Go into the future you want. I preach that in my own life too, trust me. $360 for what might surprise you, for me anyway. Yeah, quincunxes can be tension, but they're to show you something, to show you something great. They're just like, they have to be worked through and like understood, and it can feel so weird. Like 150-degree angle is just weird. It's not like 120, which is super harmonious in a trine, or 60 degrees in a sextile, which is like, howdy neighbor, like, and then the square where they're looking at each other dead in the eye, like, what? What do you want? What do you want, Uranus, granddad? That's what Jupiter's saying to him right now. And granddad's like, look, Saturn's trying to keep everybody in a little box. Your dad over there, you gonna let him do it, or are you gonna show people to break free and be the cool rebel badass in this world? And Jupiter's like, you know what, granddad, you're right. We need to shake things up and show people that they have all the power, they can have all the abundance, but they ain't gonna do it by just doing what everybody else does. And Saturn in Aquarius is like, wait, but still, like, the people, right? That's Saturn in Aquarius. Like, come on, everybody can come together. So Saturn in Aquarius is good too, but it's still very strong, and there's rules. Saturn's always bringing the rules of time and space. So we got to transcend that. make our own rules for our own abundance. But we don't have to do it in mean, negative, nasty ways. Like, we do it from the heart. Do it from what, empowers us as individuals to create the life. And the more people that step into their individuated power and make the changes for their own life in big ways, I mean, that's when society changes. And that's when leaps and bounds take place. And, like, we can all be a leader in the revolution, just by being true to ourselves. Thank you, Daphne, for watching all the videos. I did do this live mainly to let people know that I am going to be moving my daily videos and weekly horoscopes, along with more content that I want to put out, and then more interaction with questions and stuff, to my website for a member fee, but like $5 a month, so like very inexpensive. And I hope that's not. I hope nobody feels like I'm trying to put them out. It's always been a part of my business plan. As starting the astrology business and trying to bring this content, and I want to help people feel empowered, and I'm not trying to do it just to come up for financial gain. It's like I really want to be a full-time astrologer and go as deep into this as I can and put all the information out there. And to do that, I have to be able to keep internet going, keep a roof over my head for my son and I, and definitely not trying to just make a quick buck. I'm trying to go as deep into this as I can, and that kind of an energy exchange would give me all the vitality to put more out there, because I don't want to let you guys down, and even just putting this content out for free daily like I do, like, I don't want to let you guys down. Like, I show up every day to do it, and that's never going to change either. Daphne, you should go into astrology. There's so much room for anybody that wants to be an astrologer. There's just so many people out there, and I think that we are in this like mass awakening, and people are getting way more in tune with universal truths and kind of dropping, the way that life just should look, and just should be, that's been projected on us and taught to us for so many generations. We are coming into this new energy, and people will debate on if we're in the age of Aquarius or not. And whether we are or not, like, we're in major shift times right now. Like, you can call it the end of the age of Pisces or the beginning of the age of Aquarius. It doesn't matter. Like, the sun's, our sun going around the central sun of the galaxy, or of the universe, we should say, it already crossed that galactic plane. Like, we're coming into more consciousness, the kingdom of heaven. And I could pull up a pretty cool sine wave that you guys have probably all seen this. Yeah, this guy. Right? So we come into this, and it's like, this is like kind of where we're at. And, I've seen astrologers nitpick it, saying that, 2250 will actually be the day Aquarius starts, or the year that the age of Aquarius starts. But, that's nitpicking days. I mean, these are these are big long-term cycles of a sine wave, and we're right there. So this is the kingdom of heaven that humanity's coming into. And I think that, the Mayans were right. The Mayans predicted all this. They were spot on. And it all got ignited this year with the Venus retrograde in Gemini without eclipses. And Neptune was squaring the nodes in 2012 when they were flipped. So the Mayans, they used Venus a lot, and they were spot on. And there's just... So it doesn't matter how much you want to nitpick it. Times are changing. And a lot of people don't want to, they still want to kind of live in the old world. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's the split we're in too. Like, there is different timelines taking place all on top of each other. And it's just like having the consciousness and the awareness to live on the timeline that you choose to. That's where the empowerment is. Like, you don't have to live on a timeline you don't want to live on, like, anymore. Those times are gone. That's the beauty and the power of where we're at right now. But yeah, Daphne, push the astrology. Take any courses. I took I took all of actually the Leo King's courses. I'm a big fan of the Leo King's astrology. I just think that he puts out amazing truth, and he does it from, like, he triggers a lot of people, but he puts it out there and channels it really well. So I'm always telling people, like, the Leo King's the man if you don't follow him. And if you want to learn more about astrology, he's got courses on his site through highvibe.tv that you can go check out. And I'd recommend those courses to anybody that wants to learn astrology. Not only does he teach you the basics of astrology, but he teaches you how to, like, really be a reader and like proper reading etiquette, and things like that. So I do think that there's a lot of value in that, and I hope that you go through with those dreams. I think that the more astrologers, the better. In all honesty, the more people that are bringing the universe into our reality and those natural truths, the better. Like, I'm all for that. Taurus is your 12th house. Mars is going to be there with Uranus. Yeah, Gemini rising. Hey, at least, you're not the Tauruses who just had a 6-month 12th house Mars with a retrograde. Like, Tauruses, bless their souls for what they had to go through with Mars and all that Mars went through, squaring all the Capricorn energy in their 9th house. Like, just a lot going on there. But you're going to be good. Take those deep breaths. When you feel like things are just coming out of nowhere, and the universe will show you where to put your energy. Like, I truly believe that with the 12th house. It's just, the unseen stuff that comes up could be really aggravating. And it's like, can you channel that into something constructive without using it to your detriment? Because the 12th house can be it's just a rough transit. It can have you want to look for ways out because life gets hard. But it's always by, like, coming back and asking God for help that the 12th house will show you the beauty and the mission that you're on. What else do we got in this chat? You guys started talking while trying to catch up. That's cool to see. I'm glad that you guys are here and communicating with each other. Thank you, Senor Gigio. North Node Leo, South Node Aquarius. Yeah. North Node Leo. It's all about taking center stage with North Node Leo. Like, just expressing your creativity. Not holding back your identity. Empower. Just stepping into your power and shining like the sun. Also, North Node Leo is pretty good for gamblers. Like, I'm going to be honest, Mark. Like, if you like to gamble, I'm curious if you have some good luck. Because North Node and Leo is kind of like, roll the dice. Roll the dice. Don't be scared. You're welcome, Daphne. I hope that you go after your dreams and your goals in any way. Yeah, Travis. Astrology is popular, and it should be. Like, the more people that learn this, the better, and the more they can take charge of their life. And that's why, science calls it a pseudoscience, and that's why mainstream media laughs at it. Like, they don't, like, if you think that the people in charge that run the world don't use astrology, they know all about magic. They know all about the universe. They know. They're not dumb. And why do you think they keep it away from the general public? Because they want the power. No more. Sorry, guys. People get the power now. You guys can hold on as long as you want. But, more and more people are going to take their power back. That's the beauty of Aquarius. Do I think that science will prove astrology reincarnation exists this year? I mean, probably. I think it's already been proven. But I guess that's just a belief. It's just like, the more I think about it, science is always getting disproven constantly. And people like science is going to be, I think science more or less is going to become a new religion if it hasn't already. Like people are, the science. Science gets disproven over and over and over and over again. And people just want to act like science is the end all be all. And then it gets disproven. Like, oh, well, it got disproven. So now this is the end all be all. What? Like, sure, like there's truth to it. There's like legit facts to science, but the universal truths, I mean, the Atlantis, like the Egyptians, the Mayans, I mean, they have been saying the exact same universal truths and universal sciences and alchemy and the hermetic aspects of this universe. Nothing's changed. It's funny that we call it New Age, but it's not. Like, this is ancient wisdom that has been literally like the same the entire time. And that's, I think, the funny part about science is science. We just are always trying to figure out this box, and it's so Saturn. Oh, I want to figure out and have the control. But it's when you dip out and like look at the stars and you do connect to that divine energy that you start to see, like, you really start to see through the matrix and through the mirage that's being displayed for everybody. But I mean, science might. I hope some scientists can prove it. I don't know how to prove, I don't know how science would prove it. And that's like the great debate between science and astrology or spirituality. It's not physical. It's not of this 3D dimension. It's of all the dimensions. Just like we are. We're multidimensional beings living in every dimension simultaneously. And some things just can't be proven. But that's, one of the great sayings is like people are always like, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. But, there's so much power to believing it and then you'll see it. Manifesting, law of attraction. These things have been around since the beginning of time here. Yeah, Leo King is the man. Yep. No sugarcoating. I love that guy. He actually, I was on his weekly horoscope last week, and I was chatting on High Vibe. He moved his weekly deep astrology to only High Vibe, and I'm a member to High Vibe. I still learn a lot from him. I mean, he's been doing astrology for like 12 plus years now. I mean, he's just a great teacher for anybody that wants. Not only does he put out the truth, but he's a great teacher too, and he's always bringing up things that can be looked at and analyzed for astrology. And he wished me a happy birthday, and that was actually a super cool thing because, I wouldn't say like he's an idol of mine, but in terms of astrology and kind of something that I aspire to be one day, he's definitely in a sense a model of that, and much love to him for all that he does for the people. Saturn and Jupiter in the ninth is actually pretty cool. Like, especially Jupiter in the ninth house. Like, that's like a lot of expansion and abundance and taking in some really cool knowledge. Universal truths coming in left and right. Great time for channeling. Science as an institution serves an agenda. Yeah, it does. Like, you look at CERN and NASA. Like, NASA discredited Pluto as even being a planet. Like, as an evolutionary astrologer, I know why they did that. Because in evolutionary astrology, Pluto represents the soul. It's the eternal aspect of us that lives on eternally, that is source, that merges back and forth with source and comes into incarnation and goes to other dimensions and lives all these journeys to figure out the I am of, the great experiment of life and creation. And yeah, NASA's like, nah, Pluto's not a planet, disregard. Like, they don't want you to. And it's no coincidence they did that before 2020 with a Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn squaring a Mars retrograde in Aries. Like, that hasn't happened in this AD calendar. So Later, Mark. Thanks for being here. Science, when you just live it, is all the validation one needs. Amen. Like, we don't need some fancy a guy in a lab coat to tell us like how to make our life great. We just have to trust. Like, we have the technology. It's built in. Like, how do you want to live your life? You don't have to be told what to do. It's good. I think that, it's good to find information. It's good to find people that you resonate with that can help teach you. I think we're all here to teach each other something. But, oh man, I saw the craziest post on Twitter. There was a guy who has a very spiritual account, but it's also very like QAnon. I don't know. It was a weird account. I got a really weird vibe from it. Almost like it was like psyop, like some other. It wasn't like actually that person. And he had like almost 1,000 followers. But he posted, the vaccine activates your divine gene. I haven't heard that one before. Look, all things aside about the vaccine, whether you are interested in that or not, the idea that you need anything outside of yourself to connect to your divinity, to connect to the divine, that's misinformation. You don't need not a thing to connect to the divine and your own divinity and to activate that gene. All you needed to do is believe. Like, that is the strongest thing. You believe in your divinity. You believe in that. You're active. You've activated it. You practice it in whatever way feels natural to you. That was just the craziest thing I've ever seen. We're going to see a lot of that. There's going to be crazy stuff. That's this year, right? 5-year. It's going to be wild stuff. It's going to be a lot of information. And how do you make sense of it? How do you look at all sides of things? North Node in Gemini. Figure out the objective truths. Your truth. Yeah, they absolutely. Daphne. Yeah, they just don't want us to know it's real. They don't want us to know that there's something bigger out there. They want the control. They want us to think that they're the big thing out there, that they have all the power, and that, we have to serve to that. That's the old world. Well, guys, it has been real. I've really enjoyed being here with you. I appreciate everybody for hopping on. I'm going to keep putting videos out this week on YouTube. And I will, I'll definitely let you know when I make the switch. I won't just like leave without, letting people know. So, that's kind of what I'm going to work towards this week, is getting that going, maybe for next week, maybe even the week after, but I'm still going to have content out daily, still going to have weeklies. I'll let you know when it happens, but that's where I'm heading, taking advantage of this Mars energy at 29 degrees, this very powerful 29th degree in Aries, to go after the power, taking advantage of this strong Capricorn sun to go after the dreams, the goals, the destiny. And I encourage you all to do the same before the 6th. Not that you can't do it after the 6th, but today and tomorrow are just great days to go after your goals, go after your dreams, go after your destiny, and to have the courage and the drive to make it happen. Oh, still trying to find a husband. Well, maybe it's not about a husband. Maybe it's just about a partner you vibe with, and maybe that'll come sooner than you know. It's always when you least expect things. I think the universe drops something amazing into your life, but I hope that person finds you, or you find them, in divine time, of course, and that it is a magical union, whether it's marriage or not. And I wish you the best. Made it back. Yeah, I'm not interested in the vaccine either. Personally, I won't be partaking in that part of reality. I don't care if I don't have, if I can't hop on an airplane or if I can't go to a concert. People are not going to fall for it. Some people will, but so many people aren't going to fall for it that there's going to be alternatives. Don't think for a second you have to do something. Like, enough people are going to go another route that things will be innovated and change will take place and society will see what's better. Whatever it may be, it could be an unpredictable better, it could be an unseen better, but ultimately that's the humanitarian aspect of Aquarius, is that it does make humanity better and it does take us further in evolution in new ways. All right. Well, I love you all very much. I appreciate you so much for being here. I hope that you have an amazing Monday. I hope you have an amazing week. I look forward to, putting out the content this week, and I hope I see you in the comments. I appreciate you all. I'm sending you all my love, all my best, and I will catch you, especially tomorrow, for the daily right here on YouTube. By the way, before I leave, I am offering a discount. I left it in the comments here. For consultations this week, I'm doing a New Year's special, 33% off any consultation, whether it's half hour, relationship, whatever. It's 33% off with the code, all caps, New Year. If you scroll up in this chat, you can see it. So I'm sending you all my best, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.